Welcome to Numismatic Vault, the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasures waiting to be found. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable state quarters. Some of these coins are worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and the best part, they could be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. Top 1. Today we're traveling to the American South to explore a coin that tells a powerful story about history, heritage, and hidden value, the United States of America South Carolina State Quarter from the year 2000. This coin is not only a beautiful piece of art but also one that has captured the attention of collectors around the globe. If you are a coin lover, sit back and listen very carefully, because this story may surprise you. The South Carolina Quarter was the 8th coin released in the famous 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999. This ambitious program by the U.S. Mint celebrated each of the 50 states with its own unique design, released over a 10-year span. South Carolina's coin made its debut in May of 2000, and for people in the state and across the country, it became a symbol of pride. But as with many coins, beyond its artistic beauty lies the possibility of rarity, rare varieties, and collector value that can turn a simple 25-cent piece into something far more valuable. Let's first take a close look at the design of the South Carolina quarter. On the obverse side, like all state quarters, you'll see the familiar profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His portrait has been a part of the quarter since 1932, standing as a tribute to America's first president. The reverse, however, is where South Carolina shines. The design includes the outline of the state itself, the state tree, the palmetto, the state bird, the Carolina wren, and the state flower, the yellow jessamine. Each symbol was carefully chosen to represent South Carolina's identity. The palmetto, in particular, has deep historical meaning, as it recalls the defense of Fort Moultrie during the Revolutionary War, when palmetto logs helped withstand British cannon fire. But what makes this quarter fascinating for collectors is not just its symbolism, but also the fact that certain versions of this coin are extremely rare. Millions of South Carolina quarters were struck in 2000, at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making most examples common. However, when you combine pristine condition with possible minting errors, suddenly we're talking about coins that stand out from the rest and command astonishing prices in the market. So what kind of errors should collectors look for on the South Carolina State Quarter? One of the most dramatic is the off-center strike, where part of the design is shifted away from the center, leaving an unusual blank space. Another valuable error is the double die, where the lettering or details appear to be doubled, creating a striking visual effect. There are also known examples of broad strike errors, where the coin appears stretched or without the usual raised rim, and clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a mistake during production. These types of mint errors transform a standard quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Imagine holding a coin where the Carolina wren appears slightly doubled, or where the state outline is missing part of its edge. Such coins can catch the eye of collectors and drive up demand dramatically. Condition is another major factor. A South Carolina quarter pulled straight from circulation is usually worth only face value, but if the coin has been preserved in mint state condition, graded MS 66 or higher by a professional grading service, its value can rise sharply. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, with their mirror-like surfaces, are also highly desirable when kept in flawless condition. Now, let's think about why collectors are so captivated by coins like the South Carolina quarter. It's partly about rarity, of course, but also about connection. Every state quarter tells a story, and for people with ties to South Carolina, this design carries meaning. Add in the thrill of potentially finding a valuable error coin, and you can see why coin lovers keep their eyes open for treasures like this one. So how much can a 2000 South Carolina State Quarter actually be worth if it's rare or in exceptional condition? While the vast majority will only ever be worth 25 cents, there are documented cases of rare examples reaching extraordinary prices at auction. And here is the part you've been waiting for: the most valuable examples of the South Carolina quarter, with rare errors and preserved in top mint condition, have been known to reach as high as $83,000. Yes, you heard that right, $83,000 for a single state quarter. That's the magic of coin collecting. Something so ordinary, so easily overlooked in your pocket change, can turn out to be a small fortune if it has the right qualities. So, coin lovers, the next time you come across a South Carolina quarter from 2000, don't dismiss it as just spare change. Take a closer look, check for errors, and examine its condition. You never know what hidden treasure you might be holding. Top 2. We're heading west, all the way to the Golden State itself, to talk about one of the most iconic and fascinating coins from the 50-state quarters program, the California State Quarter from 2003. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter, but when you look deeper, this little piece of metal tells a powerful story of history, natural beauty, and hidden value. And for collectors who understand its rarity and unique traits, it can be worth far more than you ever expected. So grab your seat, listen carefully, and enjoy this journey into the world of numismatics. The California State Quarter was released in 2005, but the design was authorized in 2003 when planning for each state's coin began. This program was one of the most successful initiatives by the U.S. Mint, running from 1999 to 2008, and bringing millions of new people into the hobby of coin collecting. California's coin was especially meaningful, because the state holds such a prominent place in the history and culture of America. From the gold rush to Hollywood, from Silicon Valley to towering national parks, California represents opportunity, innovation, and breathtaking beauty. The design of the California quarter is truly striking. On the obverse, you'll find George Washington's portrait, the timeless image created by John Flanagan that has graced quarters since 1932. But the reverse is where California's story unfolds. The design features naturalist John Muir, one of America's greatest conservationists, gazing at Yosemite Valley with the majestic half-dome rising in the background. Alongside this powerful scene is the California condor, a bird once near extinction that has become a symbol of hope and resilience. This imagery connects history, conservation, and the natural wonders that define the state, but what makes the California State Quarter stand out to collectors isn't just its design. It's the rarity of certain examples and the errors that occurred during minting. Remember, millions of these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and most are still worth only face value. Yet, when we look at those preserved in pristine mint condition or those with dramatic mint errors, we enter a completely different world where values climb into the thousands and beyond. Let's talk about some of the minting errors you should watch for on the California State Quarter. One of the most sought after is the double die error, where the lettering or details of John Muir or the condor appear doubled. These create an eye-catching effect that instantly makes the coin more valuable. Another is the off-center strike, where the design is noticeably misaligned and leaves a blank crescent of metal on one side. Clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing, are also known to exist, and broad strikes, where the retaining collar wasn't used correctly during striking, can result in coins that look wider and flatter than normal. Collectors love these error coins because they are one-of-a-kind treasures. Each mistake tells its own story, and no two are ever exactly alike. This uniqueness drives up demand, and when combined with excellent condition, it can push the value into extraordinary territory. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also carry special appeal, especially when graded PR 69 or PR 70, as they feature mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. Condition plays a huge role in value as well. Circulated California quarters from 2003 are very common, but coins graded MS 67 or higher can command serious attention. Finding one that has been carefully preserved without scratches, contact marks, or fading luster is becoming increasingly rare, and that rarity translates directly into higher value for collectors. For coin lovers, the California quarter holds a special place because it brings together natural beauty, history, and artistry in one design. Holding this coin feels like holding a little piece of Yosemite National Park, a tribute to John Muir's vision, and a reminder of the importance of preserving America's natural treasures. Add in the chance of discovering an error coin or an exceptionally well-preserved specimen, and suddenly you're not just looking at a quarter, you're looking at a potential hidden treasure. Now comes the big reveal. After considering its history, design, condition, and the role of rare errors, the question remains, how much can a California State Quarter from 2003 actually be worth? While most examples will only ever be worth 25 cents, the rarest coins in mint state condition or those with dramatic errors have been known to sell for jaw-dropping amounts. Some of the finest and rarest examples of this coin have reached values as high as $81,000, yes, you heard that right, $81,000 for a single quarter. That's why coin collecting is so thrilling. What looks like pocket change could turn out to be a life-changing discovery if you know what to look for. So, the next time you come across a California state quarter, don't pass it off as ordinary. Examine it carefully, check for errors, and if it's in pristine condition, consider sending it in for grading. Who knows, you might just be holding a hidden treasure. Top 3. We're traveling deep into the heart of Appalachia to explore one of the most beautiful and fascinating coins of the entire 50-state quarter series, the West Virginia State Quarter, released in 2005. At first, this coin may look like just another piece of pocket change, but for those who take a closer look, it reveals a story of history, engineering, and rare errors that can turn a simple 25-cent piece into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. So listen carefully, enjoy every detail, and discover why this quarter is so highly sought after by serious collectors. The 50-state quarters program, launched in 1999, was one of the most popular coin programs in U.S. history. Each coin was designed to celebrate the history and identity of one of the 50 states, and when it was West Virginia's turn in 2005, the design chosen could not have been more fitting. Known as the Mountain State, West Virginia is famous for its rugged beauty, rolling hills, and engineering marvels, and this coin captures all of that in one breathtaking design. On the obverse, of course, we see George Washington's familiar profile, but it's the reverse that really brings West Virginia to life. The coin features the New River Gorge Bridge, one of the most iconic landmarks in the state. Completed in 1977, it was the world's longest steel arch bridge at the time, and it still remains one of the most photographed structures in America. Spanning over 3,000 feet across the New River Gorge, this bridge symbolizes strength, progress, and connection, making it the perfect emblem for West Virginia. The details of the design are stunning, with the arch gracefully curving across the rugged landscape, perfectly reflecting the state's blend of natural beauty and human achievement. Now, while millions of these quarters were minted, not all of them are equal in the eyes of collectors. Most are still only worth 25 cents, but certain rare conditions and minting errors have transformed some into highly valuable treasures. This is where collectors need to pay close attention. Among the most prized errors on the West Virginia quarter are double die varieties. These errors occur when the coin design is impressed more than once, leading to doubled letters, numbers, or even parts of the bridge itself. Such coins are immediately noticeable under magnification and can fetch impressive premiums. Off-center strikes are another collectible error, where the design is visibly shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Then there are clipped planchets, where a portion of the edge is missing, and broad strikes, which result in wider than normal coins due to improper striking. Each of these unique mistakes adds rarity, and rarity drives value. Condition is another critical factor. Collectors prize coins graded MS-67 or higher, as these showcase perfect detail, luster, and sharpness. While circulated examples are everywhere, finding a West Virginia state quarter in pristine, untouched condition is far more challenging. High-grade examples often become the centerpiece of a collection, especially when paired with unusual errors. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially those graded PR-69 or PR-70, are also highly desirable, with their mirrored fields and sharp design bringing the bridge scene to life in stunning detail. What makes the West Virginia state quarter so captivating isn't just its beauty or symbolism, but the thrill of the hunt. Imagine sifting through your pocket change and suddenly spotting an off-center strike or a doubled image. That's the kind of discovery that excites collectors and inspires new people to join the world of numismatics. The blend of history, artistry, and rarity makes this coin more than just money. It's a piece of culture, a story you can hold in your hand, and of course, the big question everyone wants to know is value. While most of these coins will always remain at face value, rare examples in exceptional condition with dramatic errors have been known to reach astounding figures in the collector's market. And some of the finest and rarest West Virginia state quarters have sold for as much as $78,000, yes, $78,000 for a single quarter that many people spend without a second thought. That's the magic of coin collecting. you never know when the next piece of treasure might be hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you come across a West Virginia state quarter, don't dismiss it. Check carefully for errors, study its condition, and remember that hidden gems are out there waiting to be found. Top 4. We're heading to the northern Great Plains to talk about a coin that represents history, culture, and rarity all in one, the South Dakota State Quarter from 2006. At first glance, it may just look like another piece of loose change, but trust me, once you hear its story, you'll never look at it the same way again. The South Dakota Quarter is part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999 and ran until 2008. This program was a massive success, sparking millions of Americans to start coin collecting for the very first time. When South Dakota's design was chosen in 2006, it captured everything that makes this state so unique. Sitting right in the heart of the coin's reverse is Mount Rushmore, one of the most recognizable monuments in the entire United States. The faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln carved into the Black Hills symbolize leadership, progress, and vision. Surrounding the monument is a ring-necked pheasant in flight, the state bird of South Dakota, soaring gracefully across the sky. And wrapping the design together are stalks of wheat, paying tribute to South Dakota's agricultural strength. Every detail of this quarter tells a story about the state's heritage and its place in the nation's history, but as every collector knows, beauty alone doesn't make a coin valuable, it's the combination of rarity, condition, and errors that sets it apart from the rest. Millions of South Dakota quarters were produced by the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means ordinary examples are still found in circulation. However, when you start digging into the world of mint errors and high-grade examples, the story changes completely. Some South Dakota quarters have been discovered with double die errors, where the details of the design, like the lettering or parts of Mount Rushmore, appear doubled. Under magnification, these errors are clear and fascinating, and they can raise a coin's value dramatically. Another rare mistake collectors look for is off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted to the side. Even more unusual are clipped planchets, where the coin is missing a curved section of its edge due to an error during minting. Each of these variations is like a fingerprint, unique, rare, and highly prized. Condition also plays a huge role. A South Dakota quarter that has been in circulation will usually have scratches, wear, or dullness, keeping its value at face. But a coin that has never been used and has been graded mint state 67, 68, or higher becomes something entirely different. These high-grade coins shine with luster, crisp details, and perfect edges. Proof coins, struck specially at the San Francisco Mint, are also collectible, especially in top grades. These proof versions, with their frosted designs and mirror-like fields, look like miniature works of art and are a highlight in many collections. For coin enthusiasts, what makes the South Dakota quarter truly exciting is that it bridges history and rarity. You're not just holding a piece of money, you're holding a symbol of America's heritage, a coin that carries a story from the Black Hills to collectors' albums around the world. And every so often, one of these coins emerges with a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error, commanding an incredible price in the collector's market. So, how much can a South Dakota state quarter from 2006 actually be worth? While the majority are worth just 25 cents, those rare examples with mint errors or perfect grades have sold for astonishing amounts. In fact, some of the most extraordinary specimens of this coin have been valued at as much as $75,000. That's right, $75,000 for a single quarter that many people spend without a second thought. So next time you get a South Dakota quarter in your change, take a close look. You never know, you might just be holding a hidden treasure. Top 5. We're diving deep into one of the most elegant and fascinating coins from the legendary 50 State Quarters program, the Oklahoma State Quarter from 2008. Now, most people see this coin as just another quarter in their pocket change, but for collectors, this little piece of metal is a work of art, a story, and in some cases, a fortune waiting to be discovered. The Oklahoma quarter was released in 2008 as part of the final batch of state quarters, and it quickly stood out because of its breathtaking design. The reverse of the coin is nothing short of beautiful. At the center, we see the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma's official state bird, in full flight with its long, graceful tail feathers spread wide. Surrounding it is a cluster of wild Indian blanket flowers, the state wildflower, which adds life, movement, and symbolism to the design. This combination of natural beauty perfectly captures the spirit of Oklahoma's landscape and heritage. The obverse, of course, carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, but it's the reverse that truly captures the imagination of both collectors and the general public. Now, you might be asking, if millions of these coins were minted, what makes some of them special? Why are collectors willing to pay incredible amounts for certain examples of the Oklahoma quarter? The answer lies in rarity, errors, and condition. Let's start with rarity. Although Oklahoma quarters were produced in the tens of millions by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, not every coin survived in pristine condition. Coins that remain untouched, showing their full original shine and microscopic detail, are already much harder to find. These top-graded mint state examples often command strong prices. Even more prized are proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. These were specially made for collectors and often feature deep, mirror-like backgrounds with frosted details. When preserved properly, they can become highlights of any collection. Next, let's talk about errors, the collector's favorite. Some Oklahoma quarters are known to have double die errors, where parts of the lettering or details of the bird appear doubled under magnification. Others show off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, creating a fascinating visual that collectors absolutely adore. There are even rare instances of coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the design was accidentally pressed onto a blank intended for a different denomination. These unusual mistakes are incredibly rare and, as you can imagine, skyrocket in value when discovered. Condition is another critical factor. A well-worn Oklahoma quarter from your pocket change will likely only be worth its face value, but a flawless, high-grade coin certified by a professional grading service can easily fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Collectors hunt for coins graded MS-67 or MS-68, as those represent nearly perfect condition. A small difference in grade can mean a huge jump in price, which is why collectors carefully examine every detail of these coins before making a purchase. But beyond the technicalities, there's also the collector's passion. The Oklahoma quarter was one of the last state quarters issued, which adds a layer of nostalgia. Many collectors who began the journey in 1999 with the very first state quarter in Delaware were determined to complete the series, and Oklahoma played an important role in finishing that 50-state collection. That emotional connection has helped keep demand for these coins strong. So here's the exciting part you've been waiting for. While most Oklahoma state quarters are worth just a quarter, certain rare examples with unique errors or in the highest possible condition have shocked collectors with their value. Believe it or not, some have reached as high as $72,000. That's right, $72,000 for a coin that most people spend without even a second glance. So the next time you're looking through your change, keep an eye out for an Oklahoma quarter. Check for its shine, its details, and maybe even a rare error. You never know, you could be holding a small but mighty treasure. And if you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the world of rare and valuable coins. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.